Hey guys, I'm here with my coach Saeed, and we're going to break down the Alvarez vs McGregor fight at UFC 205. So I'm going to break this down into parts. In this first video, we're just going to take a look at each fighter's game plan. We're going to take a look at what Eddie Alvarez will be trying to implement against Conor, and what Conor will be doing to stop it, or Conor's counter offense to defend himself against Eddie Alvarez takedowns. So Eddie Alvarez, he kind of gave away a little secret in the lead up to the Rafael dos Anjos fight. There's an interview and he's imploring Rafael to implement a ground assault on Conor. He's saying no one has ever done it before. No one's pressured Conor, took him down and implemented a ground assault. He made the excuse for Chad Mendes because Chad Mendes had the short notice and he didn't have the cardio to implement the ground assault. He also said that cardio is the main weapon when using this attack. So going off that, we can take a fair assumption that Eddie Alvarez is going to try to take Conor McGregor down, very similar to the Anthony Pettis fight. Anthony Pettis fought a majority of that fight from the southpaw stance. So this will be an open stance fight. We can take a look at the Anthony Pettis fight and take a look at how he dealt with a high-level striker in the southpaw stance. We saw Eddie Alvarez, he uses level changes, punches and feints to get his opponent to back up. He backs him up into the cage. He comes with an attack. He'll run his opponent into the cage, clasping his hands together and taking his opponent down. So it's a fair assumption Eddie Alvarez will be looking to implement the same game plan he used against southpaw Anthony Pettis in this fight. Running him back into the cage, pressuring him into the cage using his dirty boxing, wrapping his arms together, tripping. As we can see here, he trips the leg and takes Anthony down, or lacing his hands together and pulling Anthony off the cage. So from here, he implements his ground assault, where he gets on top, he pressures his opponent, and he works his ground and pound. It's a very tiring style. McGregor's going to have to get himself back to his feet, where Eddie Alvarez will repeat this same process, pressuring him into the cage, using his dirty boxing, and taking him down again. So now we can take a look at Conor McGregor's game plan for this fight. Obviously he wants to avoid the wrestling of Eddie Alvarez. We can look back at his previous opponents, and the main one that stands out is how he dealt with Chad Mendes. What he did, the biggest key, and what he's going to focus on in this fight is investing in the body shot. The body shot is like putting money in the bank. It's an investment for later on in the fight. This is a 5-round fight. I think the investments in the body shots will be key to this fight. Now we can look at the style of body shots that he's going to try to land on Eddie Alvarez. We saw this very effective when Donald Cerrone fought Eddie Alvarez. This was a closed stance fight. As Eddie attacked, he'd use his switch kick to hit him in the body, and also his knee as he changed level to attack. So he invested in that body. Late in the third round, Eddie grew very tired and he was very worn out. Like he said, the biggest weapon to a wrestler is his conditioning, and he needs that conditioning to implement his ground attack. The biggest key is to stab that gas tank and take that weapon from him. We can look at the Chad Mendes fight to the type of skills that Conor will use to implement this attack. Conor uses this lead hand control, step off, he'll use his hook to the body, also his level change, and the straight left to the body. These other two kicks I think will be key for Conor McGregor's assault. He uses this front stab kick where he brings his knee up and snaps it to the body, taking away the gas. Another interesting technique Conor uses, instead of this round kick that Anthony Pettis used, which can be caught and blocked by this rear hand, and then I can be taken down. He uses a round motion, but he turns it into a stab, hitting with this hard part of the foot. It's also very difficult to catch and stops the takedown. So we'll be looking at Conor to use his stab to the body, this front snap kick, and this snapping round kick.
So here are the examples of the types of techniques that McGregor had great success against Chad Mendes with. So he scrambles back to his feet and straight away stabs Chad Mendes in the gas tank. See him here, kick him, stab him in the stomach, which ultimately led to the finish. We can see him go to the straight left to the body, lead hand control here again, and throw that hook to the body. So here we can watch a previous fight, Donald Cerrone having great success against Eddie Alvarez using this same game plan, attacking him to the body and draining all of his energy so he can't implement that wrestling style of attack. And so knees to the body and kicks to the body to slow him down.
So in today's video, we took a look at each of their game plans, how Eddie Alvarez will look to pressure Conor and implement a ground assault, how Conor will try to stay in the center of the cage, keep his back off the cage, and invest in the body shots against Eddie Alvarez. So that's today's video. Join me next time and we'll take a closer look at this fight.